Let's talk about what people can learn from East Asian cultures and their people. I'll be making a video on what you should not copy from East Asian cultures in my opinion, but this video is going to focus on what I see are the positive characteristics of East Asian people and their culture. The first positive characteristic is their attitude towards hard work. Hard work is a virtue in East Asian culture, and East Asians who do not work hard are frowned upon. My grandparents worked 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week, and 10 hours a day to give my mother and her siblings a more comfortable life compared to what they experienced as children, as immigrants to the US from Japan. Also, my mother worked 6 days a week to provide a comfortable living for me. I was also taught that hard work is one of the keys to economic success in life. If you want to achieve economic success and feel good about it, you need to work hard to achieve it. And this could be a Japanese thing. I'm not sure about Chinese and Koreans. But one thing I did gain from growing up as an American Japanese is the attitude towards work. And when you work hard, you do the best you can. You don't do half-ass, you don't slack off, you work hard, you do the best you can. And in my experience living in Japan, this is something that has really impressed me about Japanese people. You'll see a farmer, you'll see a convenience store worker, you'll see someone in a job that does not have high social economic status, but you see people taking it seriously and doing their best. Now, sometimes the younger generation doesn't uphold this principle, but when you usually see people in their 40s and above work, you see them do their best regardless of what they're doing. And I really respect that, because I think that in Western society, I think we have this illusion that you have to be rich to be successful. And I think this is an illusion. And I respect that people can receive satisfaction from doing their best in positions that are considered as menial work to other people. The second thing is education. East Asian cultures highly value the importance of education, and the importance of education is inculcated in us young Asians from a very young age. And from my experience, it has been pushed down on me as something you need to do, because that's how you climb the social ladder, or that's how you achieve social economic success. The more education you get, the more access you have to higher paying jobs and opportunities in the workforce. And since I was a young boy, my parents pushed me to do homework, get good grades, and they pushed me to the point where they were quite irritating, or they were irritating me, and they were quite annoying with their pestering, like, do your homework. I do disagree with the quality of the education I received in public schools, or just schools in general, but I don't want this to take away from the fact that the importance of education and learning as a way to improve yourself or increase your possibilities is something I think that other cultures who don't have that emphasis could learn from East Asian cultures. The third thing is adaptability. I think the East Asian cultures of Japanese, Chinese, and Koreans have successfully integrated into American society. And I think it has even reached the point where people don't consider them as different than them. At least that was my experience on the West Coast. It may differ in other parts of the US, but I got a general feel that there was no big separation between us and the other races. We were just as American as everyone else. And I saw a really big difference because, for example, My grandparents also successfully integrated into American society, despite them being born in Japan and their first language being Japanese. Compared to, I had students who were immigrants when I was in high school, and I don't think they integrated well into American society, and I did not sense a strong effort on their end. So I wanted to share my grandparents' experience. One part of it was name. My grandparents, many of them gave up their original name and adopted either a Christian or an American first name. So when you use their name, you would not think they're any different from anyone else. And I think that's one part of their integration. The second part of their integration was that they often spoke to my parents in English. And so they actually gave up teaching their original language to my parents, which was Japanese. And I think that was also a big factor in helping my mother integrate into society and for them to integrate in society. Because in their case, they had a lot of friends of different races, and they were not insular in that they only hung out with Japanese people. But with a lot of the first generation that I'm seeing nowadays, they often use their original language, although they can speak English in many cases. They often use their original language, and they also stick to using their original name, which is actually quite difficult for other people to pronounce. And the longer I've lived in a foreign country, I appreciate when someone adopts a name that's easy to use, because it makes communication much easier, and I think you start off on a positive note much quicker. These examples may not apply to all East Asians, but I hope to show with these examples that many East Asians, they made a really big effort to integrate into American society by adapting English and American names, by making their children speak in English, and not keeping them insular from general American society, and also by not forcing their religion upon the general population. I think they were able to successfully integrate into American society, and that is why we are kicking butt right now, through the cultural valuing of adaptability, hard work, and education.